Okay, so let's start. This is Dr. Jerry Choi. This is Chonghan Jerry Choi. I'd like to introduce myself as a scholar, practitioner, and a business consultant in the field of the people and the organizational development and the management. Personally, I started my professional career as a mechanical engineer at the Bosch, the German company, after completing my engineering master's degree. I developed anti-rock breaker systems and I worked as a product manager and a project manager for 7 years at the Bosch at the world leading engineering company. I changed my career to business after completing two MBAs, one from Germany and one from Korea. Because the technology itself cannot create the innovation without understanding the money and the people. I worked as a business consultant in large companies as well as multiple venture capitals and venture companies. During my consulting experiences, I became increasingly curious about the quality of the management and the leadership. So I went to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign to focus on addressing the problem of the quality people development, especially the innovation leadership. Since then, my research inquiry has been how can we get people to work by themselves for commercial and social innovation. Currently, I'm working on the transforming toxic organization to healthy organization to make people work better for innovation. HR and OB scholars and experts propose that we will have new challenges and transitions in the field as the social and the technology changes are going on. New behavior of the employee, technology changes, new generation comes, economic, social, and the geographic mobility, globalization, and or the deglobalization. Finally, the issue of the health security that we have been experiencing due to the COVID-19 for the last 3 years is fundamentally changing the landscape of the people development and the management. Among the many changes, one emerging aspect that has received more attention after the pandemic has caught my interest. That is, toxic organization kills the best talent. Here are two cases who recently quit TikTok, one of the most popular and quickly growing social network service company. First, Chloe Shi quit her product manager job at TikTok Silicon Valley, California for several reasons. According to her, the company did not support her professional growth. The company had a toxic culture. The company disregarded diversity. She totally lost her physical, social, and mental health at the toxic organization. She reflected that she lost herself at the job, and she quit the TikTok job. Second, Jamie Lim, a former TikTok software engineer in Singapore, quit the TikTok job in 4 months. She worked at the Google for more than 7 years and she was one of the best software engineers at the company. She looked for the growth opportunity at the quickly growing TikTok. However, she quit the job because of the toxic management of the company. She described that the company gave her unclear scope of work. The company used log as a working tool that did not fit with her. The company had a totally unclear job description and the decision authorities. The company has bizarre culture that did not resonate her value. Jamie, as a minority in the company, experienced the toxic organizational culture at the TikTok and she worked away from the company in 4 months. Unfortunately, the toxic organization, toxic people problem in the workplace occurs almost everywhere in the world, regardless of the culture or the business sectors. Tara West, a New York University professor, recently proposed the idea of the jerks at the work, toxic coworkers, and what to do about them at the Harvard Business Review. In her article and the book, she proposed the 5 toxic people styles: kiss up, kick down, credit stealer, bulldozer, micromanager, gaslighter. According to Professor West, toxic people create the toxic organizational culture. The toxic organizational culture kills the best talent. However, why people get toxic and how an organization gets toxic? Are there any way to avoid them? In order to identify the fundamental mechanisms and the principles of the toxic people and the toxic organization to avoid them, I brought the Lemmas and the ideas. I defined this idea as healing the organization or for energy as capital. All photos and characters are made by me, and then they are fully registered as intellectual property. I summarized and proposed 5 lemmas to explain the toxic people and the toxic organization phenomena in the workplace. First, people struggle for energy. Energy is capital. Third, capital is the multidimensional. Fourth, becoming energy drain or the energy source is habitual. Fifth, habit is constructing rather than constructed. James Redfield introduced that concept of the energy war in his book of the Celestine Prophecy. Shortly speaking, individuals and the institutions seek to control the energy of the physical, social, and the mental and the spiritual powers of others. This energy is often referred as a prana or the chi, and it is believed to be the source of all life and the consciousness. People believe that the controlled energy is essential for the power and the wealth, and they try to maintain their dominance through the several control strategies. Redfield suggests 4 energy vampire styles such as interrogator, intimidator, aloof, and permy. However, I focused on the tools and the strategies for controlling the energy. I suggest 5 energy vampiring tools. First, torture needle. Second, sledgehammer. Third, frozen arrow. Fourth, begging bowl. Fifth, spider web. Each tool and the strategy is used to stealing and hijacking energy from others. On the other hand, there is constructively energy creating strategies for healing and healthy relations and organizations. Rico, the psychologist and the business consultant, proposed the 5 A's as tools for creating the vitality energy at the work: attention, acceptance, appreciation, affection, and allowing. More fundamentally, why people does struggle for energy? The answer could be because the energy is precious like money. So, we may think the energy is the capital. But what is the capital? Capital can refer to a variety of the resources that are used to produce goods and services. In recent years, business scholars propose that the concept of the multiple capital theory. The multiple capital theory is a framework that proposes that the organization have a multiple type of the capital that they can draw upon in order to achieve their goals. This theory was developed in responses to the limitation of the traditional views of the capital in terms of the human development, environmental, sustainability, and the holistic view of the governance system, ESG. Synthesizing the previous terms and ideas, I propose that the 7 types of the multiple capitals. Therefore, we can simply understand the people's struggle for energy as multiple capitals. Visiting the 2 cases of the TikTok people who recently quit their job, they commonly pointed out the toxic organizational culture that drove them to leave the organization. Summarizing those toxic organizational culture, I propose 7 toxic management practices. They are mediocre, bureaucracy, asymmetricity, nepotism, ignorance, meritocracy, disparity. On the other hand, 7 contrasting, healthy, and healing management practices were matched 1-to-1. They are excellence, participation, transparency, competency, active listening, all-level people development, and inclusion. Choosing the toxic management practice in energy drain side or healing management practice in energy source side is habitual by the leadership. According to the habitual choice of the leader's toxic or the healing management practices, people transformed to energy vampires or the vitality agent to steal or to create the multiple capitals within an organization. So, roughly speaking, creating or transforming an organization as a toxic one or the healing one is highly dependent on the quality people, especially the leadership. If an organization is business organization want to transform its culture as a healthy and healing one, the organization leadership should reflect their habitual choices on their managerial practices and should give more attention to the dynamics of the energy war between people. That's all. Thank you for your listening.